Contra, Spem, Spero. Against hope, I hope. I believe is the translation of that. By Dad Zingo Games. Looks... I think this is possible to be the first game that makes Scream Becca happen. Aren't we both cultured? Look at us, aren't we so cultured? That's not Latin. Allow me to sip my cup of tea. Ow, it's still too hot on my tongue. Okay. Let's get into this. So the thing is, like, this one, the trailer does some, like, sort of jump scary stuff. And I don't know if that's for the trailer or if that's going to happen in the game. But this looks like it's sort of part visual novel, some puzzle sort of thing. And I am already very intrigued by the by the style. I can't not capture the cursor this time, considering it's a giant hand. It's kind of everything. But that's fine. That adds to the vibes. Pizza Cat, welcome in. How are you doing, lovely? Let's get into it. Already, I like the sound design. Also, though, I will say, like, that door closing sound was, like, right in my ear. Felt, like, very, you know, sort of thing, like, that one sound of someone knocking on the door that makes you go, like, fuck, is someone knocking on my actual door? I worry we're gonna have effects that make me go, like, shit, wait, was that in the game or in real life? On your way to work now. I hope work goes well. I hope it's not a bad day. That's all I'll say on that matter. Also, Pizza Cat Triforce, that's utterly adorable. I love it. Incredible stuff. Right. August 14th. Road. 2112. I got Polaroid paper 40, one water bottle, my pocket knife, a wallet, a driver's license, and a flashlight. The goddamn car broke down again. I did check all the parts before leaving. They were working fine then and are now, but it won't start. Can't just wait. Not this time. Just in case I forget anything important, I'll use my journal and camera, as always. Now I have to grab the backpack and go find some help. The essentials, my wallet, driver's license, and flashlight were in my pockets. The gas station shouldn't be too far from here. I remember that. I decided to go down the road. The road disappeared. I was walking straight forward without turning, and it vanished right under my feet, replaced by bare ground. The moment I realized that, I headed back, but still couldn't find it. I'm surrounded by trees. Looks like I got deep into a forest. Some glowing orange eyes have been following me for a while. If it's an animal, that's a really big one, and I don't want to get to know it better. There's no point in staying in one place either. I decided to check my inventory. Ooh, I can make my own notes. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. I like it, I like it. That bodes well for fun puzzles. We're in the first clearing. It's... Wow, we've been going for a while. Let's proceed further. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I decided to proceed deeper into the forest. After wandering around for a while, I happened to find a flare gun, as if purposefully hidden between some tree roots that I tripped over. Could someone actually have left it here? Why? I took it in case there were also flares to be found somewhere near. I feel tired already. The path I'd been following had also disappeared, no sign of it anymore. Night has come. The darkness is overwhelming, and the reading light doesn't quite help. I can't believe this forest was always this deep. Not much I can do right now. Oh. Aha. I decided to... Okay, that didn't... I did spot that, but it was not massively noticeable. I decided to get some rest. Uh-oh. I decided to rest beside the nearest tree and feel less tired. Not sure if I should wait here till morning just to see anything. The path I'd been following had also disappeared, no sign of it anywhere. Night has come. The darkness is over. Wait. Okay. What in the actual hell was that? The moment I let my guard down, I heard some screeching. I had to run away blindly and ended up losing a thing or two. When I realized exactly which things those were, I was about ready to lose my mind. I can't find them later, I swear to God. I lost my wallet, my driver's license, and a flashlight. But it is now apparently 9 in the morning, so that's something. I decided to examine the surroundings. This forest is full of wild animals. It feels as if my every move is being watched. I changed my mind about staying in one place. Maybe too dangerous, especially in such a conspicuous one. How ironic. I find myself in a clearing. Wish the road were right behind that tree line. I think I see someone standing next to it. I'm not sure if they're facing my way. If I call out, this person won't be the only one to know my location. I got an idea. The flash may attract their attention. I decided to take a photo. Sure, that seems like the most sensible, normal thing to do in this situation. It did. Looked like they waved at me. When I got closer as carefully as I could, not to make too much noise, the silhouette became more vague. I asked in a whisper if they knew how to get out of here. There was no response. I glanced at that photo to make sure I didn't imagine things and I'm not talking to a human-shaped tree snag. I decided to look closer at the photo. That's bound to end well. Also, I wonder what this is about, because this has gone down, seemingly. No. Oh, no. Oh, that one man was actually 4 creatures. This cannot be happening. I decided to pass out. Ah, well, I had a good run. Yeah, run the fuck away. You should have wished for a better ending. Well. Where does that put me back to? I decided to take a photo. Okay, we're here. Look closer at the photo. Oh no! It's guys! You one, you're gonna die in here, fool. You're gonna die. It's mine. Fresh meat. Don't run. Pointless. Okay, maybe if I'd read that, that would have been... Shh, boss is here. Fight. Should have wished for a better ending. Okie dokie. I guess we pass out. Or maybe we just have to start again. Oh no! It's the guys again. So what do the bars at the bottom mean, I wonder? Because this one fills up with that. Pass out. Sure. Okay. Why not? I'd rather be unconscious, actually. You know what? Relatable. I'd rather be unconscious than in that situation. I decided to... Well, I didn't. I just passed out. When I regained consciousness, I still couldn't understand what happened exactly. What was that? The last thing I saw was those orange eyes I'd already spotted earlier. I felt too scared and weightless to do anything. An old man brought me back to my senses. He said something about being trapped in this forest for a long time too, but I didn't. Actually, I don't know if I can believe myself for the moment. He's leading me somewhere where it's always safe. I had no choice but to follow. He said they'd come back if I refused, and also commended my ability to deftly record things in any conditions. And there they were, the nightmarish horrors. They're still standing there as I write this. Hang on a second. Bear with me. I've just got to... Let me just stick this photo of you in my journal. I'm well aware of its value. Still, I prefer to think events through before writing them down, even if sometimes it's even more complicated than doing that at once. I decided to follow the old man. We reached a camp. The tents here are obviously handmade, but looked neat. The man introduced himself as Rob. He gave me a folded paper sheet and said, "Here, take the thing. Maybe you'll find a better use for it than I did. Don't forget your old man when you find a way out of here, huh?" Wait, are you my dad? Or are you telling me to remember my dad? Sure hope you will. There was another one inside, but empty. The first one turned out to be a shabby hand-drawn map. Did he really depict the forest in it? Perhaps I should use my camera more often, to have at least some idea of my surroundings and check it, hopefully. But not to overdo it. I still have only a few pieces of Polaroid photo paper left. Or I could just wait till morning. Not that I feel safe in the presence of another human. He's still a stranger, after all. Did anyone else hear some kind of weird bleating? I decided to take a photo. I'm wondering if this photo-taking mechanic is going to be anything like Iron Lung, but with limited number of photos you can take. I decided to take a photo. When I took a picture, Rob got closer and said,
"What you got there, camera? Looks like an owl to me."
What? Must be the sheep man doing his rounds around my neighborhood. Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting about the sheep man. He's only been here like a couple of weeks, so, you know, he's new.
Bizarre photos you have there, buddy. Camera's a flash, huh? I ain't seen one when you took me a picture. That's the way a lot works here. Or doesn't. Who knows? Depends on what the forest wants you to notice. They can come in handy, so cling to the thing.
I doubt his ability to give valuable advice, but I'll keep it in mind. Moreover, the thing was too expensive to buy and not cling to now. I decided to talk to Rob. About Rob. What's this? Riddles? Oh. Rob. Rob. We're not gonna rob Rob. Rob's been nothing but kind to us. Okay, so here's the... It's Rob! Oh, hi. You guys, I'll be back. Interesting. Okay, maybe the game will do this, but one thing I think would be incredible to do is every now and then, like, if you pass out or something, you go and look at your notes page and there's new notes here that you didn't write. I don't know that that would be easily programmable in without erasing the player's own notes. But that would be really cool. Anyway, Rob, tell me about Rob. I decided to ask him about himself. He answered,
"Yep, it's me. Been stuck in this hell of a forest for centuries, that's for sure. They ain't getting younger, you see. Becomes difficult to continue searching for a way out. I haven't seen another human in a long, long time."
Guess I'll not be much of a help in getting out then. Tell me about the forest. I asked him about the forest. He answered,
"It's a cruel one. I was even younger than you are now when I got stuck in this prison of a forest. Can you imagine that? Never wanted to last so long when I was free, but something makes me hold on to life here. Still, it's nice to sometimes meet other folks here, even if they don't stay for quite as long. So I hope you'll be the one to finally find a way out, and surely let me leave the place too. I don't want to die here and become one of them."
What's wrong with this place? The creatures. I asked him about the creatures I saw before passing out. He answered,
"Right, some indeed call them creatures. See, buddy, it's a lot of different folks in here, not only creatures. I call them pups, personally. Wicked pups."
Wicked pups, brah!
There are more clever ones, shadowy ones, those things in the sky, those under the water. There are friendly ones like you and I. Most of our kind just vanish so quickly you ain't get a chance to know 'em better. Luckily, you stumbled upon me so soon."
I didn't dare object. The camp. I asked him about the camp. He answered,
"I'm safe. I've never been attacked here. Maybe the fire's scaring them off. Too risky to check, so I'll keep it burning all the time, you see."
Never mind. I decided to get some sleep. I decided to sleep till morning in one of the tents Rob obligingly suggested. Perhaps this place won't be so gloomy in the daylight, and I'll be able to get out faster. Do you mind? Hey! Do you mind? You don't need to do that. You cannot do that though. You can just not. You can just do different things. You can just not do that. What if, right? Hear me out. What if you don't? What if you just don't though? What then, huh? What about if you don't? When morning came, there was no light, Pitch darkness, just as before, covered everything around me. Rob was sleeping near the fire. I woke him up and asked what was going on. He said,
"There's no light in my misery. Yours doesn't have it either."
I went back to sleep without further explanation. Guess I'm gonna need to figure it out by myself for now. Yeah, I assumed nothing new with Rob. Decided to leave. I decided not to waste time and explore the forest further. As I was leaving the camp, Rob called out to me and asked,
"Since you're all set to go, would you mind bringing me my ladle? I lost the thing very recently, and I can't stop thinking about it. Can't stir me no good apple soup without that. Why, apple? That's all you can find to eat in here, damn it." "That ain't true. You can find burrs if you try real hard." "Who the fuck are you? Why do we sound so similar?" "What are you talking about? We don't sound nothing alike." "This is one of them creatures I was warning you about. This is that berry pup. It's terrible. I hate him. I hate you too, buddy. Fuck you."
I'm doing fine.
"I lost it not so far from here. Just the next place marked on the map, after my camp. You probably have better eyesight, so I'm sure you can do that. Me, I can't see a thing here. Oh, and bring some wood if you happen to find any. Plenty in stock. I made sure of that. Chop, chop. All these years, just like that. Be careful out there with the folks. It's crawling with them everywhere. Return here to rest from time to time. You gotta keep your progress in mind, yeah? It ain't possible with no good sleep."
Okay, is that how we save?
Unless you're keen on pointless and making the same mistakes over and over again.
Not sure what that meant. Anyway, I better check the map now. Oh no! Nope. I want to check the riddles. Give me a riddle. Nope. I didn't exit out of that. It's probably fine, right? It's probably fine. The map Rob gave me looks somewhat weird and awfully simplified. I'll see if it's accurate. Hope I'll be able to find my way back to the camp when I'm done. It took me some time to reach a new place. 11 hours, apparently. Possibly 13. I don't remember if it was midnight. No, it was like closer to midnight, right? So it's only like 13 hours. It took me some time to reach a new place. I assumed it was the one depicted on the map because of a dilapidated swing-like contraption lying around a tree. Upon closer inspection, I realized it was more likely some kind of broken animal trap. Sharp stakes chaotically stuck in the ground nearby only backed up my guess. Now I have to find what I was asked to. I believe it would be better to stick to certain tactics if I want to take care of it quickly and get out of the forest with extra help. Apart from the camp, the forest is plunged into total darkness, but generally I'm able to distinguish more or less of the surroundings and search around with no light at all. I'd capture everything at once to be sure I didn't leave anything important behind, but I have to manage my Polaroid paper as I don't know how much I'll need. Rob and those things definitely won't have some to lend me, will they? I decided to look around. I searched around, but finding anything in the dark was problematic. The old man wasn't joking about it. Decided to take a photo. Ooh. Oh, we can zoom in on the photos. I don't like that. I decided to take a photo. Don't know how to explain it properly, but after going off, the flash of my camera seems to freeze in time, or create an invisible light source that illuminates the surroundings, even if only faintly. Ah. Deeply troubling. For a much longer period than it's supposed to. Finding things in the dark sucks and is problematic, and is homosexual. Save the darkness? I heard you're a homosexual. The trouble is, I kind of want to keep holding my mug of tea to just be able to drink it whenever I feel like, but if this game fucking jump scares me, I don't want to be covered in tea, so... All the nearest objects stay visible to me somehow. I decided to... Excellent mug homosexual. Genuinely tempting to make a command. I soon spotted the ladle, almost glowing because of its metallic texture. It was weird, to say the least, having a neck too wide for the bowl to be suitable for containing liquid. Handmade too? I also noticed a cage trap with something barely visible inside. It was closed, and there was a set of buttons on either side, likely used to unlock it. Yet I didn't know the right combination. I decided to leave. I left. Okay, so we got a little exclamation mark when there's something new to do at places. Cool. Rob? Do I not get to go talk to my buddy Rob? There he is. I decided to go there. Upon my return, Rob was sitting near the fire just as usual, except markedly gloomily this time. I asked him what was wrong and had to listen to a whole campfire story.
You know, there's this lake. I don't know what his problem is. Still visit it every now and then, as it's not so far away from the camp, relatively. So I also always try to catch me some dinner. A lot of good places for wildlife around there. But it never happens. Each bunny, birdie, or rodent always runs past me and intentionally drowns itself in the water. Why wouldn't they just let me catch them? I have no enemies among animals, but a man's gotta eat. One day I even saw a dog jump in. It happens in mere seconds. Plop and gone. Plop and gone. Leaving a poor old man with no dinner. Or his bodies just disappear. Leaving with no dinner at all. Would you imagine?
Then I decided not to spend the ink for the complete version of his blabbing. We do have the ladle, right? Yeah. Talk to Rob. Ladle! I emptied half my backpack trying to find the ladle, and when I finally did, Rob grabbed it out of my hand cheerfully and said,
"Attaboy! I almost lost all hope by now, but you're a promising fella. There's another problem you absolutely have to help me with. I just want some apples. A bit more so I can make me some good soup. Bring them to me or else I'll soon faint from this damned hunger and won't be able to help you to get out of here."
Apples? I don't remember seeing a single apple tree around. I'll see what I can do. He suddenly pointed at the flare gun I found shortly after I got lost in the forest.
"What are the odds? This is mine too. No matter, you can have it if you wish, buddy. After all, I forgot I hid it there till you brought it back to me, and it's also broken."
Well, thanks. I'll just leave it at the camp. I decided to leave. Let's check out this log. Yeah, okay, so until you take a photograph, there's nothing in the background. Oh, I hate that, but I love it, but I hate it, but I love it, but I hate it. All those failed traps made me paranoid about stepping into any others that might also be present, and still working around the forest, so I stared at the ground, determined to notice the smallest change in its texture till I did. It wasn't a trap, however, but numerous thin trails lacking grass, as if something small had been dragged. I couldn't see how far. Oh, I want to take a photo because I feel like I need to take photos, but also I don't want to take a photo because A, what if I need to take a photo later, and B, what if I see something I don't want to see in the photo? What if there's more horrible guys? Take a photo. After I took a photo, I noticed a battered paper sheet covered in sand under my feet, saying, "I like digging holes and hiding things inside them. When I grow all the hope, I won't forget to find them." Also, a few pits among the trails had tiny wildflower heads put in. The rest, empty ones, had only indentations of different kinds, round, square, and resembling small bottles. I decided to examine the trails. I crouched to examine the trails better. They led in different directions and were occasionally interrupted by shallow pits, the nature of which I couldn't define. They were too neat to be dug manually. I decided to look around. I finally decided to look up and around. Can't say if it's important, but I found a symmetrical group of dots nearly unnoticeable on a tree bark. What could it possibly be? I decided to put something in a pit, put the journal down. Haha. A riddle? A riddle, maybe? Whoa! Should forest to the meant to their back still it right, it soon their hope possibilities have completely understand can one it is right. Okay. Quite indeed. Okay. Let's put something in a pit. Let's put some Polaroid paper in the pit. Why not? I put one piece of Polaroid paper in a pit, and it immediately disappeared, sinking into the sand. Nothing else happened. Mods, crab 'em! Get crabbed, get crabbed, get crabbed, get crabbed! Vincenzo and Zoe, welcome in! How are you lovelies doing? The game? Oh, the game's good, but I'm so scared. I'm really scared of this game. Because the game requires you to take pictures, and then when you take the picture, you see what's waiting out there in the darkness, and what if I don't like what's in the darkness? You want to see something that was in the darkness? Oh, this will be so much worse if they're no longer there, but... Look at these guys! They were in the darkness at one point. That's not great. We don't want them here. What if there's more of them? There's gonna be more of them. We know there's more of them. They can just be there. Anywho. Oh man, right? Let's not spend more Polaroid paper on that. Although, how many... Okay, yeah, there's a lot of places to take photos of. I'm not going to actually count them. That feels like it's probably around at least 40. And also there's probably other ways we can lose Polaroid paper. Let's leave. I left. I approached what appeared to be a simple, half-demolished building, its roof gone and piles of bricks scattered across the floor. Despite the first impression, it turned out to be way more complex and crooked, with its uneven structure unnaturally extending straight into the thicket. When I stepped inside to check if I could find anything useful, something crunched loudly under my feet. It felt almost like a rock, but sharper. I froze. It may be dangerous to go further, especially blindly. I have enough Polaroid paper to take another photo. Let's take another photo. Oh, it's Bones! Guys, it was Bones the whole time! It was human bones. I stepped on one of the hundreds, fully covering the floor. Some still had meat on them. Bones, 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 wonderful bones, 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 beautiful bones, 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 glorious bones, bones, bones. Bonesmen! Bones, fellers! Some still had meat on them. I sprinted out immediately, thinking the culprit might be in the building, and I didn't notice one in the darkness. Besides, I spotted something shiny among the remains when the flash illuminated them. But should I? It's a stockpile, and by that I mean you can make so much stock with this. Human soup, human soup, human soup. I decided to check it, obviously. I took a closer look. Apparently it was a palm-sized glass vial, hollow inside but entirely solid with no opening or cap. I took it with me, despite it being useless. I mean, an empty vial could be helpful. Oh no, it's hollow inside, entirely solid with no opening or cap, so maybe not so useful. I decided to look around outside the building and by the entrance. Found nothing particular, except I did notice the ground was trampled in several different directions leading to the woods. I decided to leave. I left. Apparently there's something new back at the log. I decided to go there. It's fine. I decided to put the journal down. No changes here. Did you put something in the pit? No. You said there was something here and you lied to me. Oh well. Let's go talk to Rob anyway. I think let's save. If I can? No, I can't. Alright, let's leave. Go talk to Rob, I guess. I decided to go to Rob. Talk to Rob. Never mind. I told you not to do that. See you, Rob. Okay, yeah, if you hover over here when you're looking at the map, you exit the map, which is a little frustrating when you're trying to go to somewhere quite near the edge. Guess I've just got to be careful. Why are you there? That's fine. No, that's cool. That's actually so chill, that noise and effect. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. Yeah, yeah, no, it's cool. It's chill. It's fine. It's great. Yep, 100% great. 100% fine. Couldn't be better or finer. Couldn't be more wonderful. I'm moving through yet another cluster of trees, except these appear to be all thin, with leaves occupying their top only. The sky's barely visible here as well. Nothing. What was that sound? Like an animal roar, the painful one. I carefully followed the source. The poor thing is bent to the ground, groaning quietly. It's not so big, and I can't quite tell what kind of animal it is. I'll make sure before approaching it. I decided to take a photo. Help. No, anything but that. It wasn't an animal. It resembles the creatures I saw earlier. It has a long, thin tail. Its body is unevenly covered with fur. Its torso is dripping with something black, and one of its horns seems to be broken off. Its lower jaw... I can't see it. Words appeared on the photo when I took it. I didn't immediately understand what that was. Let's help it! Now, come on now. Come on now. There's no need. Trying to be nicer. Ugh.
Another gullible idiot.
Another gullible. I'm not 100% sure what that is. I'm? No. Not a clue.
One of these photos. You one lucky bastard to be able to hear me, so my bad. Gets worse and I need souls to control myself. You two to escape. Bring 5 from the lake.
Idiots but cut off? It feels most likely, yeah, although I'm just wondering about the little dots. Oh, I guess maybe that's like... Yeah. Probably idiot. Another gullible idiot. I decided to get... No. I decided to get close and that fucking dipshit just jumped up and took a chunk out of me. Backing away immediately after. Okay, so that's going to be health and sanity? Or, I guess, insanity? Or something? Don't let this one run out. Don't let this one get full. That's my guess. I feel dizzy. It's difficult to understand what the little demon is trying to say. He seems interested in my journal, too. Watching me closely as I write this down, and is probably as well surprised as I am by the fact I hear him speak using photos and not my ears. I could ask for the details, but if the blank space on the Polaroid runs out, I might need to take another picture. I decide to try to talk to LD! Little demon! That's my guess. Yet he shook his head when I tried to ask something and seemed to be in a hurry. When I was ready to leave, he passed me a handful of vials looking just like the one I found inside the ruined building, except a lot dirtier. I wonder if those are used for obtaining the souls or whatever he was talking about. I didn't get to ask him that. He's already gone where I came from. I don't see anything notable around except for a trail of blood starting where LD was lying and leading behind the bushes. I decided to leave. Hi, LD! How's it going, buddy? Can I get a look at LD? I mean, I guess I can look at him here, huh? It's LD! No. Yeah, this map control, I feel, should be a click to confirm that you want to not look at the map anymore. Oh, you can go follow LD! Let's go say hi. How's it going, LD? I returned to the ruined building and noticed LD beside it, easily recognizable thanks to his horned silhouette. When he approached me, I had to step back reflexively, as he was quite different from how I remembered him. When we first met, he barely reached up to my shoulder in height, but now he was looking at me from up high. He did look more menacing, yet his attitude stayed the same. He obviously expected me to help him with the souls, and so was not willing to hurt me, I believed. I hesitated to ask him about the sudden appearance change at the time, and he looked as if he was supposed to a moment later anyway. Talk to LD!
What's the matter? I don't bite. Mostly.
Tell me about yourself, LD.
You
You're scared? No, am I crazy breakdown? Finally, I was like you one day. I am what you see I am. Luciferian dork. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, we lost a Polaroid paper for that. I guess it makes sense. I asked him about himself, which he seemingly didn't expect. I explained that I pretty much accepted I went crazy the moment I saw him again, but I was curious about what he was exactly. Escape. Cool, so if you want to keep having a conversation with him, you lose Polaroid paper each time. Neat. I asked if he knew how I could escape the forest. I know I can't do that anymore. Now we both need souls, but for different reasons. You're the first one in a long time I'm giving this change to. Or this chance to. I believe in you, so search for him already. Vials. Yes, each one's a vial to contain a soul. What do you think it was? Did you tell you where to find more? Makes me wonder why I need you at all. Well, I want to ask you about all of these, but I'm quite scared by the fact I've already used 11 Polaroid paper. I'll talk to you later, LD. You just spend paper every time you talk to him? Ludicrously demanding, more like. Put the journal down. What's this? What is that? What are these about? Why can I not? Ugh. It's not a riddles. Should forest to the meant to their back still it right, it soon their hope possibilities if completely understand one can it is right. I don't know if we have any new words in there. It's about the same at least. Alright. Leave, and then we open the map. Then we go to the place. At first, my way further was eerily empty and deprived of any particular features. Trying to make out the scribbles, I used the map repeatedly to check I was walking right. Soon, one of the next marks was explained to me by a series of balanced stones that started appearing one by one on both sides of me. They were flat pebbles forming small, thin towers randomly scattered around. Then I reached a natural arch formed from the interlocking branches of towering trees, as if deliberately twisted into place. An end of the rope wrapped around one of them was hanging down invitingly. I could reach it if I jumped. Let's leave it be. I decided I probably shouldn't do that, so I stayed there for a few more moments to make sure I didn't miss anything important that could be there. The wind blew the rope toward me so it touched my shoulder, and I hastily moved away. My chest began to hurt. I thought maybe it was caused by yet another supernatural force disturbed my actions, but no, I was simply hungry. I hadn't eaten for days even before I got into this forest. Damn that stress. Things get worse. I could always check my backpack for some food. That is, if I ever find something substantial to eat. We've got a bottle of water. That's substantial enough, right? I decided to take a photo. Because of course. I love it. Ah, it's creepy. Ah! Ah! It's horrifying. I took a photo and noticed the patchy. The patchy bark coverage and numerous claw marks, darkening it with something slimy. In some places, they formed perfectly shaped rectangles. I counted 8 of them. It immediately made me think of the framed 8 on my tie. Remember how it was embroidered on the back side of it a few years ago? Now I'm late. I'm so fucking late. What does it matter now? Might as well throw the thing away right here. So I did. Doesn't matter. I just want to go back. I decided to leave. Yeah, the map is kind of a real pain point for this game. Shall we go save? Let's go save. Hey, Rob. LD! I asked Rob if he knew something about the little demon I stumbled upon and described his appearance. Rob said,
They're all no good scarer things. This one's a spoiled noisy pup. Always trying to get him attention, but I'd never deal with him.
I decided to get some sleep and drink some more of my tea. Chug, chug, chug. Bye, Rob. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Time feels distorted in this forest. The sky's still dark, just like when I got here. Okay, so we recovered our sanity. No, we didn't restore much of our health. Rob only wants to know one thing about LD, and that's how he tastes like with apples. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Time feels distorted in this forest. The sky is still dark, just like when I got here. Already growing close to one another, the trees around me became increasingly bent, to the point where their branches and even trunks intertwined, as if bowing in a dance. In the end, they formed a fairly steep climb, which was the only way to proceed. It had some gaps I couldn't see through because of the dense foliage. Let's use them as footholds! I decided to use them as footholds, and it worked out well. The way up was less challenging than I initially expected. Soon I was able to walk as the treetops leveled out, and I almost forgot those were not just usual ground, partly because there was nothing particularly remarkable up high, despite the distance covered. I didn't see the sky clearly, but as a thin, vibrant blue line. The area was surrounded from both sides by even larger trees, unevenly towering over the ones under me. Let's take a photo. I really like the art for the paintings, or the photos. I wonder if there's something hidden underneath. All the leaves prevent me from confirming or denying it, and the flash wasn't enough to dispel the darkness between them for some reason. I decided to leave. I can't say if it was an illusion, a fault of my inattention or memory, but before I knew that, the trees under my feet were in fact replaced by ground. The thought made my head spin. I continued walking. To top it all off, it started raining. I tried to concentrate on my surroundings and ignore the fact that I was soaked, as well as the noise around me. In an instant, a haunting sense of someone else's presence struck me. I turned around abruptly, trying to determine its source, and almost immediately a gaze of glowing orange eyes met mine. The massive silhouette of their owner, standing motionlessly, towered over me even from a distance. I couldn't help but smack the cam's shutter button immediately to capture it. And so we meet. Speak to me if you will. There are no limits to my words. However, I do believe you were aware of those your memory has. I knew it as another... whatever this thing is. It looks moth-like with those antennae and the cloak or wings. I'm not sure. It has 3 eyes and a face resembling a bony mask with an unnaturally wide mouth. I can't say if it's actually friendly or just pretending to be. What do you think about LD? He is a creature, a former human transformed after his death in accordance with one of the 2 possible outcomes. Not the one he expected or wanted, that's for sure. He confirmed he was a human before turning into the creature he is now. Okay, it looks like we're not spending Polaroid paper talking to moths, so that's good. I'm not here to help you, as you were doomed the moment the forest decided so. But I am here to observe your struggle, reasonable or not, until the moment you die at the hands of another. You mean Rob?
An old fool that is still clinging to the hope of escaping. What a waste of time.
I tried to ask him about the effect I felt after talking to LD, but couldn't quite explain it, and he stopped me mid-sentence. He said it's called spiritism. Don't know why. I don't feel it being affected by him. Don't know why. I don't feel it being affected by him.
You humans adore attributing terms to things you do not understand, so let me simplify it for you. The others call it spiritism, the impact you may get from dealing with the dead. The higher it is, the more your physical body dissolves. The last stage is death, in case you did not figure that out.
Tell me about souls. I asked him about souls, but he didn't tell me much and said I was supposed to find out the details myself.
That is what will become of you in the end. If you remain unwilling to accept the fact, your fate afterward will not be enviable. The rest is not for me to say. Your outcome depends on how you choose to manage them, so make sure to learn what you can about them first before jumping to conclusions.
Vials. I asked him about the vials. Looks like I can find them anywhere. But should I really? You really need to change that bulb. With what bulb, Ravain? With what bulb? Truth be told, even I do not know exactly those come from. They appear to be filled, and it just works. Choose wisely who you give them to, if you care about your future here, of course. How do I escape? I asked him if he knew anything about how I could escape this place. He told me to forget the possibility. I'm not giving up just yet. What could a man like you possibly change in the established cycle? They all made decisions according to their own moral compass. You do, you die, and Forrest claims another victim. I merely tell you the truth. It is your choice to accept or deny it. There is no escape. I asked what he could tell me about the forest. I didn't understand a thing he said. Must say, I'll never cease to be amazed by the variety of wonders the universe provides us all with. It is simply that not everyone is able to observe and appreciate them. Forest is a self-replenishable vault for them, would you not agree? Belongs to nobody, responsible but for one thing, existing. Reality itself shifts constantly here. It tends to change what is intruding, complementing the incomplete, shredding the perfection. I could talk about it all day, but it's always night, huh? Creatures. Do not judge them too harshly once they seek your attention. What else does one have to do, being damned, if not trying to have some fun? When the time comes, you will understand. Text is so small I choose to believe large demon here is so far away that you can barely understand them. Bye, Moth. I decided to leave. He insisted that he accompany me, and I couldn't risk refusing the offer. So we walked side by side. His presence made me anxious, but not as much as the option of being killed by someone who I couldn't even try to convince not to. Strangely, his words disappear and are replaced with new ones on the Polaroids, unlike LD's. Venturing further into the forest, we came across a small open space, its ground completely covered by something glistening. The amount of moonlight was not enough for me to distinguish what that was exactly, but it looked like thick vines at first. When I got closer, however, those turned out to be whole piles of snakes, which caused me to immediately step away, bumping my back against the damn overgrown moth who, surprisingly, hadn't yet killed me by then. I almost forgot he was there in all the silence. I decided to check the photo of Moth. Do not be afraid. You seem to hold no interest to them. I checked the photo of Moth to see if he could still tell me anything else. He said there was no danger, and when I looked closer at the snakes, I noticed they were all motionless. Moreover, some were tied in a knot. Untie a snake! Untie a snake! Remember that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. You may need this. I reached for one when Moth suddenly stopped me with his vast hand, offering a tiny glass bottle filled with liquid in another one. As I picked up the snake, I understood it was already dead. I carefully untied it nevertheless. Can't think of anything that could have caused this. I decided to take a photo. Not a single one of the snakes is moving here. They seem frozen, their heads turned to the side and eyes peering at the sky. I reflexively lifted mine too, but noticed nothing unusual up there. I decided to leave, until we meet again. Moth nodded slightly and stayed where he was, so I could calm down a bit, knowing he was finally off my back. Snakes! Moth! LD! Still something here, apparently. I guess maybe this doesn't mean new, maybe that just means there's something to do here? I don't know. I don't know whether time is a problem, is the only thing. Like, if I keep going back and forth between places, like, will I eventually just die? I imagine, yeah. Let's press onwards for now. It's easy. We seem to have a house coming up. I slid into the next place on the map on a carpet of bent stems, roots, and grass. The latter was slightly ticklish and clung to my clothes, but I didn't attach much importance to it then. At the bottom of that funnel-like space, there happened to be a freshly fallen tree, which I'm using now as a stopping point to write this down. I decided to take a photo. Still working. After I take a photo, the light stays, well, in the air. Around. How do I even explain this? I searched the tree crown. I decided to check the tree crown and search between the branches before pulling out a bird's nest full of eggs. I took it with me to bring to the camp so Rob could look after the yet unhatched nestlings while I was gone. I decided to look around the tree. My hand brushed against the velvet texture of a small old black hat lying under the vegetation. It was decorated with 2 fake roses and a pin with a precious blue stone. I decided to leave. Let's press on a bit more. The wind picked up, carrying a deep, prolonged melody that overlapped with muffled pounding from somewhere below, like rain on the roof, but each time heard from a different side. I found myself among the dead trunks of a grove, similar to others I had already encountered on my way, except here the trees were especially old and marked by cavities which were the source of those ringing sounds. Each time a new gust of wind came through them, they responded with a shaky hum. I decided let's listen to the rhythm of the rain. Look. Oh boy. Alright. That's not what I meant. Does that get written down in riddles? No. Alright. Let's try and make a note of that then, because that's going to prove important. I'm sure. Where's my pen? There's my pen. Alright, time to actually journal in this journaling game. Can I do it? Let's find out. Fuck me. Alright, let's see if that's all correct. Okay, so it's 7 lefts at the end. There's 3 lefts there. That's a right. It was 4 rights? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 3, 3, 7. Well, I guess that's easy to remember in its own way. Left times 3, right times 3, left 7. Let's put that into our notes in the game. R L L L R R R L L L L L L L. I'm gonna double check that one last time, but I think that's correct. Left, right, left, left. Okay, cool. Let's take a photo. The place looks lifeless. Its grey surroundings pointlessly wobble under the unchanging night sky. If it rains, I have no place to take shelter, and the camp's too far to make it back quickly enough. Look around. What if instead of the game adding new entries on its own, it deleted one of the L's? Well, I've already written it down in a real-life notebook, so hopefully that should still be fine. But if it can delete one of those, then I'm in trouble. Then I'm in real trouble. I tried to find something worthwhile. At some point, out of the corner of my eye, I saw one of the distant trees instantly and silently vanish into thin air. I'm still confused by my reaction. I felt strangely indifferent the entire time I was there, though I didn't pay the slightest attention to that. Instead, the latter was drawn to a wet paper sheet lying on the ground. Where once was lying silenced, wounded heart of sorrows full, aspiring thus to feel alive, embedded deep within. A seemingly incomplete poem was written on it. I doubted its value, but wrote it down in a separate journal section nevertheless. In the previously empty folded paper sheet Rob gave me earlier, to be exact. For some reason the ink just wouldn't stay on the page beside it. Wait, sorry, where was that? The previously empty folded paper sheets. Oh yeah, okay, so this. Where once was lying silenced, wounded heart of sorrows full aspiring thus to feel alive, embedded deep within. Well, I notice that the first word, or the first letter of each, it spells out whoa, which is probably fine. That's probably nothing to be concerned about whatsoever. Alright. Let's leave. Let's go talk to our buddy Rob. Time to talk to Rob about Moth. I asked Rob what he knew about Moth. He shook his head and said,
Well, ain't that one? Well, ain't that one's a menacing fella. Can't find a proper slipper against a bug that big.
nothing else. What do you think of this bird's nest? I handed Rob the bird nest found near the fallen tree and asked him to look after it since he usually stays at the camp, unlike me. He placed it on one of the boxes and said,
I'll take care of him, all right.
Cool. Hey, Sanity! I asked Rob about spiritism, except I explained it to him in other words. He said,
She reminded me earlier. Things dangerous. That's why you don't want to speak to the folks. They're pulling the mind out of you. Not every one of them, of course, but the most. And there's no speaking to hurt your mind. There's still sharp claws and teeth to hurt your body.
I decided to get some sleep. I walked through the forest with Moth, passing a cliff, a swamp, dragging my feet through thorny plants. I feel safe as long as he's near, but he keeps disappearing and returning. In a clearing of tall grass and bushes, he warns me about snakes before disappearing again. I can't see anything under my feet at first. When I finally discern the glare of scales and snake eyes surrounding me, I dash to climb a tree. Each one breaks under my weight until I find one sturdy enough. Before long, something wraps around my arm and I fall into the snakes below. Instead of hitting the ground, I land in a dark, damp place. I'm trying to move as the space brightens. I am a fang of a giant snake, biting into thick, impenetrable skin. With each crunch, the snake fails, and I shatter piece by piece. That's also why I don't talk to people. Alright. Ad break. Quick little stretch. Quick little body reset. Quick little how do you do. Quick little eat of a snack. Munch, munch, munch. Doody da how do you too, Quackers? How's it going? How's your day? This game, real scurry. I really like it. I really, really like the atmosphere. I really, really like the gameplay mechanics. Boy howdy, are they gonna destroy me? But it's fine. Also, you get to talk to monsters. That's always a fun time. Ooh. Yeah, the art's really good. Everything's just real good in this game. You sure scurry around a lot in it. Wow. Welcome in, Unhero. How are you doing? Wow. Wow. That helps ease the suffering a little bit. Hey, do we reckon when we wake up, A, the birds will be dead, B, Rob will be dead, or C, both? I reckon both. To be fair, I don't know if the birds are alive. Was it eggs or was it hatchlings? I think it was just eggs, right? So do we reckon the eggs will be fried? Do we reckon Rob will be fried? Or both? Scrambled? Poached? All of these things are things that could happen to Rob. As well as eggs. Over easy? That's maybe a bit less likely to be Rob. Sunny side up? I don't know what that would mean for Rob. I think Rob will have a new accent when you wake up. I mean, I guess I'm in control of that, but why do you think that? Hey, Rob. Never mind. Bye. I keep forgetting I need to click leave and then do the map. Apparently there's stuff at all of these. That's fine. Check out this dump. There's something in the pit. I don't want to put more Polaroid paper in there. Alright, we leave. Anything else here? No. Why was there an exclamation mark next to it then? The next place was reminiscent of a dull hollow, despite the slopes being not so steep or large enough to belong to one. At their base where I was, there were no trees to the very horizon, or at least I couldn't see them. I invariably bumped into what I believed to be tree trunks every time I started to budge. It reeked of autumn there. Abundant falling leaves swirled around, disorientating me even more. I decided to take a photo. So my body wouldn't suffer through any more bruises, but it was of no help. There are no trees in this hollow, but it doesn't prevent me from sensing their not so obvious yet definite presence. As for the leaves, it's like they're falling from the sky instead of rain. I also noticed a whole lot of ants circling on the ground here and there. Good thing I did that before crushing those of them still alive. I decided to take the risk and look around the place. Sadly, among all the invisible trees, I didn't find a single invisible hint concerning how the fuck I was supposed to leave this forest behind at long last. But then I kicked something, moving through a pile of dry leaves, and that something turned out to be a neat gun and 2 full magazines for it, all that carefully wrapped in a cloth. Recognize it anywhere. Smith & Wesson Model 39-2. I remember those being fresh on the market. I took it with me, of course. I didn't question how the gun could have ended up there then, and I don't question it now. It's not what matters most. Feeling my way out of the hollow, I proceeded. Following the map gets pretty tricky. I mainly use the gaps between treetops to navigate between the places I discover, listing the areas where the sky is clearly, barely, and not at all visible, and arranging them in the right order to recall on the way back. All I can see aside from that is a bunch of pitch-black silhouettes and shapes almost all the time. I noticed one resembling another building. When I got closer, it turned out to be an odd-looking long-abandoned house with a porch and everything. At that point, I was sure I could stumble upon anything here, as if the forest had trapped not only people, but whole houses, cities, or whatever. I walked in and all the sounds died away. The place is all dusty. The boards are uncannily dry and pointy. There's someone standing right in front of me.
Do I know you?
God fucking damn it. Are those things getting uglier on purpose? Well, this one is tall and slim and extremely pale with a long ghostly hood descending evenly over its body. The flash was not enough to illuminate the lower part of its face, neck, and abdomen. The vague, dark clothing draped over his hips fully covers his legs, its hem reaching the very floor. What was the question? Do I know you? Oh yeah, it's right there.
Do I know you?
I don't think so.
Yet we could help each other. If you get souls, give them to me only. Always. It is the only right decision to make.
I don't think I should do that voice. I feel like that's gonna hurt. I decided to answer his question negatively as it was the truth. He tilted his head slightly as if examining me. I think I'm not in danger, at least for now. He seems to have a particular interest in souls, too. Hey, Slim! Tell me about souls. Okay, you do cost Polaroid paper to talk to.
They are literal human souls. To capture them, you need only awareness and vials. The cursed things are an automatic trap, no matter what, who the holder is.
Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that voice. That's too much. Cool. I don't think I want to talk to you too many times then, Slim. Sorry, but Polaroid paper is precious right now. I'm gonna search the house. The concentration of gloomy beings in my life was high enough by that time, so I decided to take a look around the house. Can't say it was successful. The slim one glared at me so menacingly that I gave up after the first step, not too eager to make him any angrier than he already seemed. I wonder if you can talk to him in such a way that you do then get to search the house successfully. Anywho, see you, Slim. It was a really, really good voice that you should never do again. Like, it feels like a very fitting voice, but I have to talk inwards to do it. And that feels like it's gonna fuck up my voice more than I realize. I admit it. I am scared. But the fear subsides at once as I'm confronted with something new. I'm not crazy. I don't understand what's happening, yet all this whining is not what I'm supposed to write down. I have to record only those things I want to remember and focus on. The events happening to me that may be worth attention, but how can I even be sure that any of this is real? I see things that simply cannot be. Maybe it's the fatigue, or more likely another trick this damn place has for me, but my head spins, and it only gets worse. Weirdly enough, the surroundings look as usual, just awfully repetitive. At some point, a fox hastily crossed the path and, surprised by my presence, dropped a small wooden sign behind. I decided to pick up the sign, but as I walked closer, it somehow appeared to be even further away from me than before. One couldn't possibly handle such a rapid change of perspective without falling. Take a photo! Nothing unusual here. This area is very similar to all of the previous thickets. Tried to get the sign again. I tried getting the sign again, but wasn't successful all the same. It kept drifting away with each attempt to reach it, and then the idea came to my mind. Instead of walking towards it, I started to walk backwards. The sign actually drew nearer, close enough to see what was written on it. A set of numbers. 23, 15, 18, 4. 4. I decided to look around. I couldn't. The around was escaping me, shifting and receding constantly with my every step. I decided to leave. I braced myself and hurried forward. It was easier to do while looking down rather than to the sides. I was nearly knocked off my feet with fear by the sight of countless clusters of glowing orange eyes emerging from every surface before me. I immediately thought of a large gathering of moth lookalikes ready to lash out at me, and the idea gave me the shivers. Except those were only perfectly round mushroom caps, all facing me no matter where they were growing from. This was no stipes? Visible to distinguish them as such at first glance. And they were, in fact, growing everywhere. Some exploded from my steps. The air was musty, probably because of the spores polluting it. I didn't know if those were dangerous, but I thought it would be best to find something to cover my face with before exploring the place. Let's take a photo! The roots of massive trees, their trunks as well as the ground, are all dotted with mushrooms. I doubt there's anything else that could be useful. Let's take our own advice and try and find something to cover our face before we explore that too much. Let's go talk to Rob. Hey, Rob. You seen Slim? I asked Rob what he knew about Slim. After thinking a little, he said,
Ain't sure about that one. You keep befriending all kinds of folks instead of seeking a way out, ain't you?
I finally escaped. The gas station, once out of reach, stands right in front of me now. Realizing that nothing holds me back anymore, I slowly walk towards it. With every step, it becomes more difficult. Fear creeps up my spine, growing heavier, until I can no longer move. Frozen in place, I watch greenery overgrow the surroundings. Trees pierce the station, tearing it apart. A creature runs past on all fours without even noticing my body. I'm so very tired. Forest has no end. Well, see ya, Rob. Should we talk to Moth about Slim? Sure, let's talk to Moth about Slim. Hey, Moth!
Ah, you are back. Interesting. To what do I owe the pleasure?
What can you tell me about Slim? I asked him about Slim. He proved he was a human before turning into an entity and said he can't leave the house until he gains enough strength.
He is an entity, a former human transformed after his death in accordance with one of the two possible outcomes. Unlucky. Most entities are granted higher intelligence, yet unable to leave their transformation place until gaining enough strength.
Cool. Talk to you later then. Bye-bye. Leave. It was no easier to cross the next one either. First, my attention was caught by the gurgling sounds coming from puddles of black, viscous liquid flowing down the tree trunks from somewhere above. The branches were almost leafless, yet made the sky barely visible. Let's refill the bottle! I decided to refill my water bottle with the liquid so that later I could examine it more closely in a spare moment. Who knows what use I could find for it. Take a photo! Thanks to the photo, I could distinguish something else on one of the trees. Numerous recesses ascending like stairs. My attempts to go up were promptly interrupted by a massive clot of substance that fell right on my head, wobbling and jiggling its way out of my grasp till I managed to throw it off me into the tall grass. I jumped down myself. I saw then that the ground was covered in cracks, and some small marble-like spheres of the same colour started to roll out of them. Let's observe them. Their numbers rose dramatically. They merged and soon covered almost all the surroundings, making it complicated to move through. There was a strong incentive to leave the place as soon as possible. I decided to leave the place as soon as possible. That's fine. As I approached the lake, I heard a guttural roar behind me, rapidly growing louder as it got closer. It hit me then that I had completely forgotten to consider the water might attract not just animals, but deadly predators typically found in large wild forests. I spun around only to confirm my chance to act carefully and avoid getting hurt more than I deserved was blown. A huge bear was charging straight at me. Jump away! I decided to jump away, hoping it would run past me. And it did. The bear dived straight into the water and disappeared under its surface after a few seconds. The scene shook me. It all felt like a distant memory hastily fading away even then. I decided to take a photo.
Another one.
Another one. Nothing seems off here. I have no idea what could have lured the bear in. And what about souls? Could humans be susceptible to the thing as well? I feel fine for now. I decided to approach the lake. I thought that must have been the lake the little demon was talking about. I walked up to the water and felt my backpack grow heavy. One of the vials has changed. Was a soul captured in it? I wasn't sure. I didn't do anything to make it happen. I knew nothing about it then. I examined the vial closely. I'd expected it to be filled with something glowing, or at least light in appearance, but its contents were pitch black and smoky, reminiscent of the silhouettes surrounding me, which had vanished before I could catch a clear glimpse of them. I decided to capture more souls. I searched for more, but there were none left. Perhaps I could return here later. Both LD and Slim appear eager to get their hands on them, and if they really know how to escape this place, maybe I should give this one away to... Since when do I listen to some beings beyond my comprehension anyway? Relying on a crazy old man's help doesn't seem an appealing option to me either. And that damn moth, what's his problem? I already spent too much time wandering around. I have to make up my mind now. As I turned back, I noticed something on the ground. It wasn't there before. Very cute. Thank you for playing the demo! It was merely a glimpse into the game's concept and core mechanics. We wouldn't want to spoil all the fun now, would we? In the full release version of Contra, Spem, Spero, you can look forward to all existing locations to explore and revisit, routes to choose from, more characters to meet, various new dialogue themes, solvable puzzles in all their layered glory, and even more opportunities to make questionable life and death decisions. Of course, so much more. Find a way out of the forest! Incredible. I love it. Ah! Another very good game. I don't know what really we can do in this demo differently. I kind of keep wanting to go back to where we buried the Polaroid paper. Hey, Rob. Let's leave. Let's see. Since we've reached the end of the demo, let's just spend all our Polaroid paper, see what happens. Probably fine. Let's put something in the pit. Polaroid paper. Then put another thing in the pit. Still nothing. Put something in the pit. Ah. Fine. Put the journal down. What are you? Regigigas? Nope. Leave. Let's go talk to our boys. Let's go talk to our various boys. How's it going, LD?
For you, it's the key to escape. Sooner you master them, higher your chance. You'll see in my case it's a cure for my sick thoughts.
Asked him about all the souls thing. What do you think of Rob?
Who? Another one. Get used to herself too, but the old father's as stubborn as it can get.
Tell me about Moth.
Bighead never even looks at me. Why bother? Fucking hell, we could be such a team.
Tell me about Sanity.
Oh, can do about that. Lucky 13th. Your fragile mind ain't used to speaking with such powerful beings, especially with one like me.
I just had to ask him why he always felt dizzy after talking to him. Why did he call me like that?
You really fell for that. How do you like me best right now in front of you, okay? Wait, you really fell for that? How do you like me best right now in front of you, back then in the house? Still not sure. Gotta come back up with more pretty faces, though I need a mask of my own for that.
What? Huh? Are you both people? Go to the root. Put the journal down. Put something in the pit. Nothing. Leave. Alright. Moth! I already talked to you about Slim, right? He's an entity, a former human transformed to his death and gone. Yes, he reached the end of the demo and now he wanders listlessly through the house. Alright, let's go talk to Slim again then. No, can't do that yet. We've got to go here, then we've got to click leave, and then we've got to do the exact same thing I just did. Hey, Slim! Talk to me about yourself, Slim.
I've been trapped here for a while now.
I keep saying I'm not going to do the voice anymore, and then I keep doing the voice.
Can't leave the place without souls, and I need them to do that.
Sanity!
Your spiritism.
Can't resist the Slim Stim. Exactly. I'm doing a different one.
Your spiritism. The price to pay for communicating with the forest's victims may be deadly if you overdo it. It won't affect it any further if you prove yourself worthy. By that I mean you are to think your every decision thoroughly, especially if it's related to souls.
What do you think of LD?
Little demon, huh? Fitting name, however. Surely he got to you sooner than you came across me, isn't it so? And surely he tried to convince you to give the souls to him. Bastard is not the one you should be listening to. You'll be doomed if you do. I'll be honest, I'm not aware of his exact intentions, but I am certain they can't be good.
I asked him about LD. He suddenly tensed up, so I took a few steps back, expecting an attack. But the distance between us stayed the same somehow, and he just let me understand that they didn't get along. Leaving a moth!
I have no idea what he is. He means no harm, but provides little utility. Do not ignore him, nevertheless.
Tell me about the creatures! You should have wished for a better ending. Hey Rob, I'm off to go mad in the forest. See ya! Hey Slim. Tell me about you. Tell me about Sanity. Tell me about LD. Tell me about Moth. Tell me about Rob.
Never met or heard about such. Keep in mind I cannot leave this house.
Escape!
Listen, you cannot. You choose to either worsen or ease your pain during death and what comes after it. It is in my power to make yours less gruesome.
Tell me about the creatures.
There are not only creatures, but also entities. One glance is often enough to tell them apart, at least for the latter. I'm not sure if creatures are able to distinguish even their own kind. In the end, it is complicated to stumble upon an intelligent one at all.
Thanks, Slim. How much paper do I have? 11? Alright. let's go nowhere. Let's go to the mushrooms. Let's just investigate without a face mask. It's fine. Search the place anyway. I decided to look around for a bit, but didn't find anything except for the mushrooms. I believed they could come in handy, but I really shouldn't have stayed there any longer. My thoughts were progressively becoming more and more clouded. I decided to collect the mushrooms, because I make only good decisions. When I started to collect them, my mind went completely blank. Next thing I knew, I was lying face down, slightly away from the path, where there were none, without any in my backpack too. I really should find a way to protect myself from the spores. Sadly, I don't think that exists in the demo. So... let's taste the tree water. I decided to lick some liquid off a tree. Tree sap is good for health, after all. It was nothing like that, of course. Can't describe the taste for sure. My tongue went numb. Is tree sap good for health? Let's take a photo. Let's crush the little orbs this time. My first instinct was to crush them with my foot. However, I underestimated their elastic properties, slipped, and fell on my back. As if it wasn't enough, my eye fell on a huge scolopendra crawling along the tree branches above. There was a strong incentive to leave the place as soon as possible. It's a scolopendra. I decided to leave. I want to see if I just keep sleeping over and over again. Do we eventually reach a point of like, you've been in the woods too long, you die, I can't sleep. Well, never mind then, I guess. Let's freeze on the spot. I decided to... I froze. Instead of being crushed, I was only harshly pushed aside. The bear ran past me, dived straight into the water, and disappeared under its surface after a few seconds. The scene shook me. It all felt like a distant memory hastily fading away even then. I decided to take a photo.
Another one.
Okay, this is where we end off. It's the end of the demo! We did it! We demoed. You see, now we reach a problem. Because I don't know that there was that much variation in what I could do. Was there anything else I could take that I could talk to Rob about? I don't think so, right? And I don't want to start the next slot yet because I've sort of agreed times with the devs. I don't know if there's I guess I could just push stuff forward early and then have an earlier start or an earlier end. Either way, Contra Spero is real cool. I do really like it. I think, as I say, the map system I'm a bit frustrated by. It's a little wonky for my mind, but on the whole, really, really good atmosphere. Really interesting way of like navigating the world. Play the trailer? Look at the Steam page or something? We could play the trailer, we could look at the Steam page. Although, I'd need to find the sources. I don't really have an idea to fill the game slot either, yeah. I mean, I guess I could get the full game. The full game is out, I believe. Although... it is tempting. It's a real good game. Play more of a previous one we've had to end early. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. It's kind of how I get myself, because I'm the one who decided this 2-hour time slot thing. What that we've played would be a good fit for Horror Day? At least bugging yourself a full game keeping the dev if you promoted them for the event. I mean, but I can't do that right now is the problem, right? So, unfortunately, I think that's not an option for the present at the very least. I mean, artificial selection might still be a good fit. I feel like artificial selection would be a good fit for kind of all of the days. It's kind of interesting. Let me check something actually, because I feel like the dev for our next game said they might be able to tune in. I don't know about the dev for the final game, because they can't make it. Maybe I just jump onto that one. But I'm not going to fit that in for 40 minutes, I think. One would think that maybe I should have planned for this, but I didn't. Actually, I did find a couple of other games I was kind of interested in. Let's see if any of them fit. You know what? Okay, what have I written down? Okay, I'm gonna stop the VOD regardless, I think, because I think this won't be interesting for anyone watching it. If you're interested in Contra, Spem, Spero, check it out in the description below. I'm gonna figure out what I'm doing in terms of my stream, but that's not a problem for you. You don't need to be here for this. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.